Hey everybody, welcome back to Highway Blossoms. Last time we made a stop in Baker, California to see the giant thermometer, though Amber missed the opportunity to take Marina to the alien jerky stand, which is my personal favorite stop in Baker. But to each their own. Marina loved the thermometer anyways, as we knew she would. Amber and Marina also took their relationship to the next level. Amber opened up a bit more emotionally, they had sex, and now here we are, what I assume is the day after, and let's see what is in store for us now. The glow from the hall half-open skylight creeps in from above and shines down a strand of light onto the blanket. It divides the bed in two and slowly spreads across the room, casting off the morning shadows. My palm is warm and sweaty. Moving my fingers reveals my hand is still interlocked with Marina's. She never let go. I turn over and face her. She's still sleeping, curled on her side and laying on her arm just so she can keep holding my hand. Soft and rhythmic, her breath brushes against my face. If I could, I'd watch her for hours. Trying not to wake her, I unchain my fingers, wiggling them until the numbness sets in and pricks away at my sleeping hand. Marina's nose wrinkles and the steady breathing stops. Swallowing, her eyes flutter open and she smiles. The day's first words slip out of her with a yawn. Morning. Sorry, did I wake you up? She snuggles in closer and takes a deep breath, keeping her deep, wide eyes on me. You sleep, okay? After the fire wave, Marina seems unsure for a bit, but when I look at her now, none of that is there anymore. She's completely trusting. It's a little terrifying that I gained that trust so fast, especially since we pivoted around each other for so long. That kind of trust, that kind of responsibility, it's a very special thing. I had it with Gramps, and now Marina has given the same thing to me. From taking her to the gas station, finding treasure, and even fending off weirdos, she puts her trust in me to be responsible for all of it. Sometimes I wonder if I deserve it. Sometimes I have moments where I know I don't. Like when I can't find some lousy treasure. Like when I'm not around to help her out of a jam. Like when nothing I do can save someone no matter how hard I try. Like when I just can't function. Like last night. Marina picks up on my silence. Her expression fades from trust to concern. Something wrong? Nah, it's all good. Slept fine. I lean over to kiss her forehead but pull back halfway. Ripping off the blanket, I leap out of bed and stretch. Marina turns a crimson red and eeps, throwing the covers over herself as our clothes from last night lie in heaps across the room. I dig through the cupboard and toss her a change of clothes before slipping into my own and beginning our morning routine. We've got a big day ahead of us. Assuming traffic isn't crap, we should be in Palm Springs by late noon. She peeks out from the blanket and grabs her clothes. And then the festival? Almost. We'll have about a day to kill. I turn the coffee maker on and head to the bathroom to start brushing my teeth. Oh, I run the coffee maker. I can read. I swear it. Behind me, Marina is changing into her clothes. I can clearly see her in the mirror, but after last night, I'm not sure it matters anymore if I accidentally catch a glimpse of her. So, do you know what bands you'd like to see yet? My voice is garbled, muffled by the toothbrush stuffed in the corner of my mouth. Kinda. I have a few ideas. Spit. Most of which are just bands me and Gramps liked. We should look at the lineup later. See if there aren't a few bands you might want to check out. Finished changing, she scoots behind me, directing our eyes to the mirror as she rests her head on my shoulder. It's fine. I'll watch whatever you want to watch, Amber. I watch the mirror as my face goes blank. Marina nuzzles against my cheek, bringing with her an aching burden that presses down on my entire being. Why does she believe in me so much, even when I'm such a wreck? The coffee maker beeps, saving me from being crushed by my own thoughts. I rip myself away from her. Anyway, get ready. We're gonna hit the road as soon as you're done. I rush to the sink. Steam rises out of the cup as my shaky hand pours the coffee, splattering most of it on the counter. Steadying myself doesn't work. My body won't listen. The burning coffee splashes on my skin as I wrench it to my mouth. It scalds my tongue and blisters down my throat. The pain sizzles all the way down to my stomach. Oh, that is the worst. I hate it. I do that all the time and it just burns all the way down. I gasp out a short scream but quickly muffle it with my hand. With tears forming, I turn and make sure Marina didn't hear it over the running water. Once I'm sure, I wipe my eyes. After several sharp breaths, I pour myself another cup. I drag myself to the driver's seat and slam my cup in the holder, then plant my head on the steering wheel. It honks. The handles from the bathroom squeak, and the sound of water is reduced to a drip. A few moments later, Marina trots down the motorhome and hops into her seat. I jerk my head up. All set? Yep. But are you sure nothing's wrong? Forcing a smile, I turn the key and put the RV into drive. Don't worry, everything's fine. Just a little tired. Marina studies me for a few seconds, then shrugs and looks out the window, happily staring at the giant thermometer outside. I pick up Graham's favorite tape and put it in the player, still staring at Marina. Frowning, I catch a glimpse of myself in the rearview mirror. Please don't hurt her. Please. I see. So this has been Amber's issue. Which, I kind of got the sense that might have been it. She's clearly afraid of hurting or losing Marina like she did her grandfather, which is reasonable. Ooh, and it says here that there are giant dinosaur statues just up ahead. Oh, that's great. Everything she's been saying for the past hour has been zoning right past me. It's not that I don't understand it. I've read that guidebook she's been pointing to about 1,000 times as a kid, but it's all being drowned out by the music and my constant thinking. The drive hasn't done much to soothe the budding anxiety inside me. In fact, I'd say it just made it worse. After 4 states worth of desert and endless stretches of road, it's maddening to see it all get mauled over by overpasses and the slowest, most painful and rage-inducing traffic I've ever seen. Welcome to California. With nothing but Graham's tape to keep me grounded, it's been a battle not to go mental. My mind keeps wandering back to Marina. How we're together, what exactly that means, her trust, my responsibility. And the more I think about it, the more Oh wow, Amber, look how white the sand is. It's like snow. Her observations haven't been helping either. Whenever I'm about to make a breakthrough or convince myself I'm just thinking too hard, she pipes in and suddenly I feel like I'm right back to where I started in Colorado. At least I can take solace in the scenery going back to something more familiar as we get closer to Palm Springs. Like Marina said, the sand's a lot whiter and looks almost as soft as cotton. It fades into fields of rocks and dry plants, trailing into expansive mountain ranges. All this just off the side of the road. It feels like the kind of desert people wander around and go crazy in. Something I can very much sympathize with. After all, wandering around the desert and going crazy is how I met Marina. I think that's where the seeds of trust and responsibility were sown. At least, I like to think that's why she trusts me. Because I helped her. And it's through the next few weeks that the trust was built upon, cultivating into something maybe even greater than that. Marina became important to me, someone I had to protect. Whoa, look at all the windmills. I clenched down on the steering wheel. By doing what we did last night, did I betray that sense of greater than trust? She saw me crying, she comforted me, and made a move, and oh God. The realization is like a punch to the gut. I want to swerve off the side of the road and hurl my guts out. I used her. I used Marina. Amber, look! She tugs on my sleeve and points out the window. As far as I can see it in the hazy distance, an army of windmills line the sand and stretch all the way to the hilltops. Their wings spin down in unison, cycling with a steady wind. It's enough to snap me out of it, at least for a few seconds. But once the initial novelty wears off, I'm right back to where I've been for hours. I've never seen so many. Marina sounds completely blown away, enchanted even. It's cute, but I need to think this through. Really think this through. Hey, do you think we could actually be quiet for a little while? Oh, sure. That's fine. Thanks. She goes back to looking out the window, swaying to the music. So pure, innocent. And I took advantage of that. Is that all I've been doing this entire time? Using her to make myself feel better? I don't even want to consider it, but it adds up. I was lonely. I didn't have anyone else. Saw a cute girl, picked her up, and consistently used her to curb that, all while telling myself that I was just helping and protecting her. And that I convinced myself of more, hoping to forget about the most important person in the world to me. The tape clicks to a stop, jolting me back to reality. I reject and flip it around, fumbling with the tape as I shove it back into the player and press play. It starts off the same as always. The same static, the same first note, everything. But soon, the audio starts to slip, like someone is sliding on the tape. The music jarbles into something distorted and ugly, speeding up, slowing down, and going backwards all at once. Yeah, that is the worst thing about old cassette tapes. After a while, they just get destroyed, and the audio quality is totally distorted. It sucks. I frantically push the eject button over and over, but it's too late. The deck spits out of the tapes, a string of tattered ribbon tangled around it. Marina is too captivated by something outside to notice what happened, but I feel all of it. Tears start to swell up deep inside me, but it just morphs into fury. Check it out! That mountain still has snow! God damn it, shut up! As if the universe were conspiring against me, a deafening explosion blasts in front of us. Tremors shake the motorhome. We bounce in our seats as I grip the wheel and pound on the brakes, swerving out of traffic. Our hearts almost collide. Gasping for air, Maria turns to me for answers. Damn it, not now! I tear off my seatbelt and rush outside. Smoke rises from the engine, tearing into my lungs as I open the hood. Shit. Marina runs to my side, waving away the smoke. Her jaw drops. Oh my god, what happened? What do you think happened? The engine blew. I punt the bumper. It leaves a small dent like my foot is made of steel. What? But how? How the hell would I know? She flinches back, but manages to put on a hopeful smile. We have some tools. Maybe we can fix it? Laughing, I lean in and scoff in her face. Oh, you know how to fix the engine, Marina? No, but I thought maybe you could. Do I look like a mechanic to you? Marina wraps herself in the security of her arms and looks to the windmills, their wings casting thick, brief shadows over us. I just thought... You thought? The last time you thought, you ended up broken down on the side of the road. So maybe it would be better but for both of us if you continued not to think. She can hardly look at me. Her voice lowers to a fragile whisper, cracking as she speaks. I just wanted to help. Unless you can magically pull a phone out of your ass and call a tow truck, then you can't. And even if you could, you would probably just let it get stolen. No response. You want to make yourself useful? Go back into the RV. Whoa. Listen, Amber. As far as I'm concerned, it's your fault for not having a cell phone for you in the first place when you're driving around and you're not a mechanic. Marina keeps her eyes to the ground. Without saying another word, she slinks back to her seat. I sigh and space myself out in front of the motorhome, waving my hands back and forth as cars speed by, ignoring my signal. Even I can't follow my own stupid advice. Yeah, alright, I understand. Thanks. Untangling the cord, I set the phone down and sit on the bed, then sigh into my hands. Hotel sheets are surprisingly soft. A hell of a lot softer than the stiff rags I've been sleeping on lately. Downtown Palm Springs, a 5-star hotel. We were lucky they had a vacancy, let alone checked us in late. Of course, a nugget of gold can go a long way in the art of persuasion. Who accepts gold? It's not like we actually went back to the gold standard, like what's-his-face did in the United States, that United States politician. Anyways, that is beside the point. I would have sprung for a cheap motel, but every place has a no vacancy signs lit up. And, well, I guess I just wanted to pamper Marina one last time. Especially after earlier. Especially before what I'm about to do. Oh no, Amber, what are you gonna do? Don't make it worse. I feel like you're gonna unintentionally make it worse. The bathroom door creaks open. Marina walks onto the carpet, her hair still damp and stringy. Noticing me, she stares down, avoiding eye contact. I do the same, letting the silence overtake the room until one of us is forced to say something. How was the shower? It was nice. Got hot really fast. The room goes silent again. Neither of us can look at the other, but we're both stuck, trapped until one of us can get past the awkwardness. Marina is the first to look up. Will the motorhome be okay? Yeah, they said the engine overheated. Should be able to fix it. That's good. The first words we've said to each other in hours. Even after I flagged down a car and got someone to call a tow truck for us, we just sat in unbearable silence the entire ride over. But it was the silence that gave me time to reflect about how wrong I was, how wrong I have been, and what it is I really need to do. I'm sorry about yelling at you earlier. I was angry. Yeah, at myself. I shouldn't have taken that out on you. I was being annoying. I should have stopped talking when you asked me to. No, you've never done anything wrong. It was always me. Always. Don't be so dramatic. She flails her arm over her forehead and falls dead onto my shoulder. Everyone gets mad sometimes. Don't beat yourself up over it. I shake my head and pull away. It's not about getting mad. It's that I didn't live up to my end of the bargain. Again. Amber. I look at the curtains and sigh. We're not missing anything. Just an ugly view of the parking lot. I just got off the phone. I bought a bus ticket home for you. One way. Oh, no. The cab should be here 10:30 tomorrow morning to take you to the station. Marina shakes out a stilted laugh. She's not smiling, though. You're just teasing me again, right? I ignore her and continue. You can call your parents with the phone. I don't mind paying the extra charge. You're serious? Bug-eyed, Marina freezes, the truth slowly setting in. But what about the festival, the treasure? She snaps back, desperate to find some kind of rope to pull me back in. You can keep it, all of it. I don't care. I'll go to the festival, go home, and get a job. I'll just pay everything off that way. Right, how it should have been to begin with, when the trip was about Gramps and not me. I don't care how long it takes. I owe him and Marina that much. Marina sniffles. The tears are starting to leak out, but she braces herself, trying to remain strong. Then what about us? What about it? I feel like I just ripped my heart in half. For Marina, it looks like her entire world has been nuked. It makes me want to hug her, to hush her and tell her over and over that I didn't mean it, that she can always count on me. But I can't. Why? It doesn't matter. Tell me! I said no. Why not? Because you wouldn't understand. Look, you'll be fine. Just keep your head down and don't talk to anybody. Stop treating me like a fucking child! Oh my god, thank you, Marina, for saying it. Finally. Angry tears streaked down her face. Through heavy breathing, she recoiled, shocked by her own words. I didn't mean... She steps closer and strokes my cheek, turning my face to hers as I try to hide my watery eyes. Amber, please, don't do this. I love you. Please stop. Don't make this harder. How can I understand if you don't tell me? She barely manages to speak, the tears now in free fall as she chokes out the words. Let me help. I squeeze my hand into a fist, tripping as I back away to the door. I'm sorry. Amber! Her knees buckle and she crumples to the ground, bawling as she squeaks out another plea. Stop. I'm sorry. I throw open the door and sprint down the hallway, leaving Marina sobbing as I wipe away tears of my own. I'm sorry. Things just got really intense right now. I'm not gonna say anymore. The crowd moves on. I don't bother raising my head, allowing myself to be dragged along wherever they're going. My hand is tucked deep within my pocket, playing around with the cassette and its string of tattered ribbon. The hotel is far in the distance now, lit up against the darkening sky. Marina is probably still up there crying. I let go of the tape and force myself to keep walking through the clammy misters attached to shop and bars. Oh yeah, that would make sense. You're in Palm Springs. It's probably like 90 degrees out even though the sun's already gone down. It's not my business. It's what's best for her. But it hurts. Everything hurts. I keep expecting Marina to come skip after me and lean on my shoulder so we can explore the town. Or better yet, chew me out and punch me until I feel like I can justify what I've done. But I know that's not going to happen. She's too sweet for that. She's Marina. And I don't want anything to ever change that. Me especially. I can't be trusted with something that precious and not screw it up. Not again. A shrieking laugh shatters my trance. Whipping around, I find a small building squished between a thrift store and a pawn shop. I pull off to the side and peek in, wanting nothing more than to forget about everything. It's smaller than the RV, the entire middle dedicated to 4 mismatched bars set up in a square, surrounded by a cheesy island decor and streamers hanging from the ceiling. Under it all, a legion of girls. Tall girls, girly girls, redheads, blondes, and brunettes, all crammed inside and chatting each other up in the festival of free-flowing drinks. Oh. I get to see myself blush in real time thanks to the window. The rest of the bar probably does too. I must look like an idiot. I don't leave though. Sitting at the bar, beneath the red and pink party lights, is a slim girl with shaggy, rainbow-dyed hair. She sways on her stool as she laughs with the bartender, the shape of her ass outlined in her tight jeans. I can't buy her a drink. But then again, this is the place for it. Maybe Catching a glimpse of me, she turns to the window and gives me a big, bright smile. Images of Marina flash through my head. Images from last night at first. Her holding me kissing her neck. And then the Valley of Fire, finding all the pieces of the treasure, helping her on the side of the road. But the images that stick out the most are the quiet times. Me driving on the highway while Marina sways back and forth to the music. I back away, then take off as fast as I can. Am I that disgusting? Was that all Marina was to me? I slap myself. When it barely stings, I do it again, smacking myself so hard that tears bead in my eyes. Blinking them back, I swallow and keep running. One by one, the shops vanish behind me. The sidewalk thins, then disappears. Eventually, it's too dark to even see the ground, and I'm running under unfiltered starlight. When I finally stop, my shoes are heavy with sand. I wilt over and suck in huge, gasping breaths. Forcing myself to look over my shoulder, I realize I'm surrounded by sand dunes and rocky hill ranges. I've left the city far behind me. My footprints prove that. The saguaro cacti are scattered at random, like sorrowful people brooding under the moonlight, their prickly limbs reaching for the sky. I settle my breathing and listen to the sounds of the desert. A gust of wind stirring in the dry hair, the crackly yelp of a coyote, the whimsical horns and hypnotic guitar strums of faint ska music. Wait! Now I really am disgusted. Squinting at the horizon, I catch a glimpse of an unmoving light. It's faint and alone, but it's definitely there. Pressured by some kind of masochism harbored deep within me, I follow the light. The further I get, the more I know I should turn back, but my fears are just proved right as I inch closer. A black motorhome with stripes, just as hideous as the music blasting from it. With every screech of a trumpet, my ears bleed a little more. Every time the guitar plays that stupid, unchanging rhythm, I die inside. But the worst part is something I've never been subjected to before. Singing, if you can call it that. Not from the song, but from a familiar, brain-piercing wail masking over it. It's awful, like a dying siren trying to reel in one last sailor. Covering my ears doesn't help. I can only wince in agony as it reaches a high note, probably killing any wildlife in the general area. Someone needs to stop this. I march to the door, wondering why I'm even going to bother. After everything she's pulled, why should I when I can just go on about my life? But then she reaches the chorus. Yeah, that's why. I give the door 3 solid bangs. The singing stops. Oh my god, Mariah would be into ska. I like the Real Big Fish and the Sublime album covers she has. Is Sublime really even considered ska? I guess they are. I knew you dumb skulls couldn't live without me. Mariah swings the door open. She's flushed, dangling a glass bottle from her hand, only to be silenced to a single sniff upon seeing me. Seriously, we have to stop meeting this way. I mean, this is crazy. You suck at treasure hunting and singing. Go figure. She slams the door in my face. I knock again. It's delayed, but she reopens the door, her head cautiously peeking halfway out. You've taken everything from me. What else could you possibly want? Your soul. Give me the treasure and you got a deal. I'll throw in the slackers, too. That's probably not gonna happen. She leans out the door, nearly stumbling over as she peers from side to side. Where's your better half? I look down. How do I even answer that? Mariah growls and limps towards her refrigerator. Come in. May as well. No one is waiting for me anymore, and yelling at Mariah is as good of a distraction as any. I climb in. My nose is instantly assaulted with the smell of rancid beer and whiskey and vodka. There might even be traces of a skunk. I decide to breathe through my mouth. The couch and cot are both empty. No lackeys to feed into Mariah's delusions in sight. Where are the other 2? Head in the depths of her fridge, Mariah only snorts. Tess wanted to see some stupid Walk of Fame, so Joe took her. Palm Springs has a Walk of Fame? According to the squirt. She leans back out of the fridge. How old are you? 19. Why? Close enough. Drink. With a loose throw that I actually have to die for, she tosses me a bottle. The print is in Spanish, carved into the thick glass just above the label. I try pronouncing it, but it comes out sounding depressingly American. You should be worshipping me. That's the good stuff. I'm ecstatic. I think she's too far gone to notice the flatness in my voice. Even if she did, I doubt she'd care. With something resembling happiness on her face as she cradles half a dozen or so bottles to the couch. You gonna drink all that? Haven't you had enough? Go die. You stole my equipment and my treasure. I'm not letting you steal my 40 ounces to freedom. I shrug and flop down beside her. Mariah drunkenly reaches for the remote, misses it twice, then switches off the music and hurls the remote across the room. Finally, thank you. I hate ska. Mariah snarls at me like a toothless piranha. It's reggae, you uncultured brat. She slumps back down. Yeah, Sublime's way more reggae than ska, I'd say, but ska's okay too. Uncultured? You were the one who wanted to blow up Shiprock. It was a suggestion. I don't have nearly enough TNT for that. The fact that you even have it is what bothers me. Whatever, at least I know what I listen to is good, unlike whatever you're into. Oh, I can assure you what I listen to is better than ska. Reggae? Jazz, fusion, new age world music, all better than your circus noise. You actually like that hippy-dippy crap? What Volkswagen did you fall out of? The one that hit your mother when she was pregnant with you, apparently. We both click our tongues. Without looking, she pops my cap with a bottle opener, then hers. Giving a half-assed clink of our bottles, we take a swig. The swampy drink tails down my throat, setting my chest on fire. My experience with alcohol is really limited. Gramps didn't keep a lot of booze around, and when he did, it was always mead or wine. I only snuck some out a few times for special dates. Gotta say, you're a lot less bearable without the dits holding you on a leash. Shut up. She barely held the flame to the fuse, but that single word is enough to make something inside of me go off. Don't you talk about her that way. She's a kinder, more caring person than you'll ever be. Mariah scrunches her nose, like my outburst didn't make any sense to her dumb, drunk face. That's not a very high bar. She's not wrong, but couldn't she have at least tried defending herself? I groan and let my blood simmer down, but not before spitting out one more shot of venom. Whatever, it's not like you're any better. You're a mess without the other two keeping you in check. Hey, don't get any ideas. I'm the one keeping them in check. They'd be dead by now if it weren't for me. Sure, Mariah. I pinch the bridge of my nose and shake my head with a short laugh. Whether or not I choose to accept that Mariah exists in my reality, she's at least something familiar. Comforting probably isn't the right word for it, but she's someone to talk to. Why are you here, anyway? Who even knows? Joe mentioned something about a music orgy thing. Music orgy? You mean the festival? Yeah, that. Huh, and you went along with it? I guess that makes sense. You guys are a thing, right? Building up from a bunch of snorts, Mariah bursts out laughing. Ha! Me and the slacker wouldn't be a thing if the planets collided, wiped out everything, formed a mega planet we had to repopulate. Why do I get the feeling this exact scenario has been played out in her journal multiple times? Besides, there's more important things to focus on. Or, at least. She looks at the drawer again and then glares at me. There were. I hide the temptation to laugh in her face and take another gulp. So nothing, huh? You grow up with someone and you don't feel the tiniest thing for them. She takes another swig, but this time just gives the wall a dry, blank stare. If he's still single in 10 years, maybe I'll marry him out of pity. I bet she'd marry the treasure in a heartbeat, though. Probably do more than just marry it. What about you and the Dits? Aren't you two going to the music orgy together? Her eyes narrow. I'll kill you if that's what you're using my treasure for, by the way. I don't answer, looking at my now near empty bottle instead. What? You two have a fight? Something like that. I bet it was because of the gold. No honor among thieves, I tell ya. No, nothing like that. It's hard to explain. Well, I don't really care, but go ahead and moan if you want. It's not any different than what you usually do. I look at Mariah. She doesn't seem particularly interested in downing more beers than anything. She's a maniac, that has always been and still is abundantly clear. She probably would tear apart the entire Southwest if it left unattended. Hell, maybe even the entire nation. She's no Joe. No way she could hold up an actual conversation. No way she could accidentally offer some good advice. No way she feels any sympathy. Still, I feel like I can vent to her. Not trust her, not after all the RV chases and games of blackjack, but vent. She doesn't care, but maybe that's what makes it so appealing. I stay silent and stare at the ceiling, mulling over everything that's happened, searching for the right words I couldn't even give to Marina. I said that I don't care, not that I'm willing to wait all night so you can steal my time, too. Just give me a minute. I'm not really used to this. Taking a deep breath, I look past Mariah, unwilling to let her see my shame. The single shred of pride I have left snaps, and I let all the weakness come fumbling out. I met Marina a little after my grandpa died. My chest tightens. He was my best friend. My parents didn't want me, but he did. He raised me on the motorhome. He didn't have to, but he took care of me anyway. Mariah sips at her beer, listening in silence. No smarmy remarks or deluded rambling. So when I was a kid, I decided I was going to take care of him too. Gratitude, you know? Gratitude for a lot of things. His love, his acceptance, the music. I stifle a laugh. God, the music. The goof could spout random trivia about the weirdest music bands you've never even heard of. But I loved it, and I loved him. It sounds dumb. A little girl feeling responsible for some full-grown geezer. I didn't care, though. I wanted to prove how much he meant to me. And that's how it worked for the longest time. But then he got sick. I funneled down the beer and reached for another one. Mariah shoves her hand in front of me and pops off the cap right as the next cycle of heartbreak starts closing in. I whisk back the bottle and force it down. Soapy foam rushes to the top and spills over as I pull it back. Mariah only shrugs. That festival? He was the one who bought those tickets. It was going to be our trip. That didn't happen. I failed at my job, but I could at least take the trip for him and try to make up for it. Then I met Marina. A smile slips onto my face. Despite everything, even just saying her name makes me feel cheerful. She was really cute and needed a ride, not to mention oblivious. Maybe it was just instinct, but I wasn't going to let someone so innocent fend for themselves in the desert. I didn't plan on sticking around for long, but when we found the first part of the treasure, I don't know. I told myself I was going to stick with her because I had to pay off Graham's hospital bills and funeral. But the truth is, I stuck with her because I felt like it was a second chance. I could do some good, help and protect someone who really needed it. And the closer I got with Marina, the more I felt like she was my responsibility. But even more than that, when I was with her, my voice cracks, trembling under the weight of my words. I was happy. It was like Gramps was never even gone. Then I remembered he was, and I completely shut down. Marina tried comforting me, but I just took advantage of her. When I woke up, I realized that's what I'd been doing this entire time. Oh, Amber, you poor codependent child. I was never protecting her. I was just using her to cope with Gramps. So I bought her a ticket home. She yelled and cried, but I did it anyway. I didn't just fail Gramps. I made this trip about me, and I hurt Marina. I don't deserve to be happy, and I don't deserve her. Soaking in the silence, I blink away an annoying watery speck in my eye and fight back a few sniffles. You done? Yeah. Mariah polishes off the rest of her drink and slams it down, rattling the other empty bottles on the table. Smacking her lips, she stretches her neck. Each bone cracks one after the other, sounding off in a delayed trail. Then she turns to me and speaks. You're a dumbass. I pause. Excuse me? You heard me. Mariah launches herself at me. I wince as her breath streaks out. The smell was bad before, but now it's like she rinsed her mouth with whiskey. God, you piss me off. A growl emerges from deep within her throat as she looks me over. Then, as if acting on simple instinctive desire, she delivers a stiff smack to the back of my head. For a split second, everything is a fuzzy white. The infuriating image of a snarling Mariah greets me as my vision fades back, patterned with an even more infuriating throbbing. Ow, what the hell? Why are you hitting me? I just spilled my guts to you, you jerka. Shut up, I'm talking now. Mariah stumbles off the couch, gripping the table for support. Her face is darkened by several shades of red since I've gotten here. Listen here, thief. Dead is dead is dead. Your dear old granddad ain't crying up in heaven because you decided to do some broad in the back of his RV. Her words burn right to their fiery core. I can't believe I ever thought I could count on Mariah. Where do you even get off saying, I said shut up? Get over your snooze fest of a sob story. You got the girl and you got my treasure. But no, you can't be happy because of some stupid, phony sense of obligation. And that's another thing. Her voice gets louder as her words get sloppier, slipping and sliding over each other. I couldn't get a word in even if I tried. All I can do is listen stone-faced as the lashings keep on coming. Who the hell do you think you are? What gives you the right to be some self-righteous guardian? You don't look after people because you have to prove yourself. You do it because... She stops and scratches her head. I lean in, my breath frozen by anticipation as she tries to decode her own logic. Because you just do, okay? I swear that annoying complex of yours is gonna smother you and everyone else. Mariah grabs another bottle and swings it straight down on the sharp corner of the table. The cap somersaults through the air. By the time it lands, she's already chugged most of it. But I used her. That's right. Obligations, second chances, complexes. None of that means anything because it's all said and done. I used Marina to make myself happy. You call that using? Give me a break. I use those slackers all the time. That's using. And you know what? Who cares? That ditz used you to find the treasure, didn't she? Hell, if anything, you probably don't use her enough. I'd feel like a real jackass if some dumbass were coddling me all the time and all I could do was sit there. People use people all the time. That's what makes them family. Mariah takes one last swig of her beer, then with a glint of sadness in her eyes, stares into the empty bottle. So if you're gonna hate yourself, find a reason that doesn't suck. Her face murks from red to sickly green. The bottle falls from her hand and onto the floor. She rocks side to side, like a sailor that's lost their sea legs. Hey, you don't look so good. For a quick moment, Mariah's cheeks blowed out. Then, just as quickly, she swallows. I'm fine, I just need to drink it off. She wobbles back to the couch and collapses next to me. Neither of us speak. Mariah groans, holding her stomach as she feels around for the bottle opener. I look at the pile of empty bottles building up on the table. What happened to not caring? I don't. I just prefer my treasure not being in the filthy hands of an idiot. Did I just get chewed out by Mariah? Even worse, did some of it actually make sense? Or is it just the booze? Unable to spare the energy to lean forward, she stretches her arm way out for another beer, but I catch it just in time and grab a hold of her hand. You need to quit. You've had way too much. Eat me. She slaps my hand away and snags two more beers, shoving one of them into my stomach. You're an idiot, but whether you want to keep being one is up to you. I don't know. I need to think about it. Mariah rolls her eyes. Dumbass. Nothing she says burns anymore. Now it only stings with the acidity of truth. Getting over it. Letting Marina in. Really letting her in. It's just not that easy. It's never been that easy. But if I don't. Putting my hands on my thigh, I squeeze the outline of the cassette. Mariah raises out her beer and grunts. Sighing, I raise up mine and we clink them together. Jerk ass. Well, whoever thought we'd go and get advice from Mariah, huh? Anyways, we are going to end this video here. I think that's a good stopping point. Way to call Amber out on her dumb, codependent, savior complex bullshit, Mariah. Very nice. Anyways, we'll see where this conversation continues and what Amber decides to do about it in the next one. Thanks for watching, and yeah, I'll talk to you on the next one.